Good evening and thanks for joining us. Well, who couldn't use a little color in their life, especially on what started out as a bit of a gray and cloudy day? Over 2,300 people got more than just a little color today. They were literally coated at the inaugural Run or Die race. As you'll see, even our Ryan Benazzo couldn't escape the fun near Boulevard Lake.
3, 2, 1.
It's the first of its kind in Canada, and there's nothing else quite like it. It's a 5-kilometer run or walk called Run or Die. That's D-Y-E, of course. And if you think these 2,300 participants are colorful to start the race, that's nothing compared to how they looked after going through the various dyeing stations set up along the route.
I didn't think that we were gonna get splashed with colors here and there, but it was fun. I got some in my mouth though.
You get to the stations and they don't hold back at all. They hit you with everything they got. We got it in the face a few times.
Despite the frequent peltings, the racers we spoke to all say they'd do it again. Some came out just to enjoy the unique event, while others had set specific objectives for themselves.
I thought it was awesome. My goal was to run the whole thing, so I did that without stopping. So I feel good.
I didn't know what to expect until we saw the huge crowd, and I knew it was going to be a good time, lots of colors.
Perhaps these two young racers summed up best just why it was such a good time.
Because we got dye on ourselves. And we got dye on our moms.
Many of our interviewees hadn't yet gotten the chance to look in the mirror before they appeared on camera. Jared Oxenen had, and said he was shocked by what he saw.
The colors, or the one color. All the colors made one.
I'm probably not going to look until after the shower. See the pictures later, yeah.
Run or Die events first took place south of the border last year, but assistant race director Catherine Hanford says the true origins date back much farther than that.
It's from India, from the Holi festival, which is just about people back from 300 BC would color themselves with natural dye and celebrate wellness. So we are here celebrating fitness, wellness, and friendship.
And these racers certainly did celebrate.
As you can see, there's color absolutely everywhere. Everyone is just colored with greens and pinks and purples. I personally didn't dare wear any nice clothes. And you can see why. What's a little bit more? I have another story to cover today. Ryan Benazzo, TBT News.
Well, there are also several other events drawing crowds around the city today. It's day 2 of Rib Fest down at the waterfront, and on the south side of town, the annual Westport Village Street Fair took place. An estimated 5,000 to 8,000 people typically visit the fair on Frederica Street each year in search of a good deal or just some good food. JB Evans owner Jack Morrow has worked in the Westport Village for many years. He says the fair is a chance for people to return to their neighborhood roots, like coming home.
Westport and the people who have grew up here or their family has a heritage in the area are proud of that part of it. They figure it's the area of hard knocks, and you can move out of the area, but you can't take the Westport out of the people, and so they're proud of being a Westporter.
The communities that have built their homes around here have supported each other and love coming back home. It's that great home country feeling, really.
Well, a number of sidewalk sales highlight the street fair, but there's also art, music, as well as a spa and other services provided to passers-by. They turned up by the thousands from all over the United States, and just as some did 50 years ago to see Martin Luther King Jr. stand on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, a crowd marched on Washington today to celebrate King's memory and to uphold the ideals for what he fought for. Briar Stewart has more on that story from Washington.
From across the country, they came by the tens of thousands to remember.
But how does it feel for you to be here 50 years later?
50 years ago, I sat here and I thought about the things we were not able to do. Now I think about some of the things we have done.
Irma Ramsey-Kuehler was 31 years old when she first stood at the back of the mall and heard those words.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed.
When she headed out to the march, she wasn't sure if she was going to come back safely. That's not her fear these days, but she has other worries. The issue of the right to vote is becoming as contentious now as it was back then because of recent legislation to tighten voting laws.
This voter right thing has knocked me down, and that's why I'm down here. If you got to register to vote, that's enough. You don't need to show your badge. So many people don't have badges to show.
And also on the minds of people here, the killing of Trayvon Martin. His image is everywhere.
He's all of our son, and we have to fight for our children.
That is why Letitia Brown is here.
And now that I have a daughter, I want to make sure that she has a better life also.
She took a bus in the middle of the night from Virginia and slept nearby so she could have a place in the front row.
You're actually sleeping on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
Slept on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial.
And it was from those same steps that his son sought to carry on his father's legacy.
I know that Daddy is smiling up above, knowing that your presence here today will assure the fulfillment of his dream.
A message he preached to a crowd made up of individuals in the same civil rights organizations that were there decades ago.
As organizers of that original march begin to retrace their steps, they're joined by other groups, some focused on specific issues like immigration reform and gay and lesbian rights.
It was billed as a march to reflect and reclaim. 50 years ago, it was about equality and making life better. And today, it was about protecting some of that ground already gained. Briar Stewart, CBC News, Washington.
Mayors from across northwestern Ontario were on hand for the AMO conference in Ottawa this past week. They had a number of concerns they wanted to bring to the attention of provincial ministers in attendance. Heading the list were regional power needs, policing costs, and assessment disputes. Jordan Milani has more.
Greenstone Mayor Ron Beaulieu says he believes the province is committed to developing the north. Following a meeting with the Minister of Energy, Beaulieu says the Little Jackfish River hydroelectric project is being pushed forward as a definite need. Located about 200 kilometers northeast of Thunder Bay, he says the province is looking for First Nation support for a private project that is integral towards bringing connections to the north, including transmission lines and road access. Beaulieu says the debate on an east-west corridor versus a north-south corridor is not a question of one over the other, but of what will work best for everybody affected. Sioux Lookout Mayor Dennis Lenny says a meeting with the Minister of Correctional and Youth Services also went well as he continues his fight for a youth detention center in his community.
2012, it was 612 youth convicted, where Fort Frances has only got 42, and all the youth right now are being transported to Fort Frances or Thunder Bay or Kenora. So it makes more sense to keep them in Sioux Lookout as youth detention center because probably 95% of these children would have family in Sioux Lookout.
Lenny adds that standardizing policing costs were also an item of discussion among many in attendance, but his most important discussions were in regards to long-term care beds. The community currently has 20 beds in total and a waiting list 7 years long.
Yeah, our population is 5,500, but our catchment area with the 29 Northern Reserves is 30,000 people. And we can't say that First Nations can't be using it because our hospital is the hub of the north and everybody comes there. So we have to look after all of the north.
Dryden Mayor Craig Nuttall says a meeting to discuss the MPAC assessment at the Domtar Mill lasted more than 2.5 hours. He says regional mayors who have stuck together through their fight against recent property assessment reductions have now been deemed the mill assessment group. He adds while they may not get everything that they want, Nuttall believes they will get something.
The government's working really good with us, and I think some major changes have to be done with impact. And as far as we're concerned, we have no money to pay back, so we're hoping that the forestry companies realize that.
Jordan Milani, TBT News.
Many people are calling Prime Minister Stephen Harper's proroguement of Parliament a distraction tactic, as Harper is still under fire over the Senate expense scandals. Thunder Bay's 2 MPPs were also fired up over the decision. So, for our question of the day, we wanted to know if you thought the move was being made to avoid the Senate scandal.
This is the third time that Stephen Harper will be proroguing Parliament during the time that he's been Prime Minister. The first 2 times I think he was doing it perhaps maybe a little bit too quickly, like he didn't need to. There were other options that he could do. This time I think it's justified, but it's the third time he's doing it, and he's getting in the way of our democratic rights, and he's not really answering to his people.
Chances are, but I think he's had a lot of help with it from the NDP and the Liberals. They're just constantly badgering him instead of carrying on with what could be done in Parliament. I'm sure the Senate situation will be taken care of.
I think so.
How come?
Well, I think that's why he's broking Parliament. He doesn't want to deal with it until they resume Parliament later on. There'll be other things going on.
Well, you know what? There's too many stuff that this Prime Minister has done that is not very good for the average Canadian.
If he's thinking he's smart and deceiving the Canadian people, he's not. I mean, you're asking me the question based, know what's going on. People know what's going on, and I don't think he should be avoiding it.
A little bit of a football action out on the field today.
A little bit of foosball. You wanted to say it like that.
I was going to say it.
I know you wanted to.
Stopped myself.
Yes. Week 9 in the CFL. Wrapping up all of highlights coming up after the break.
Tiger Cats, and now the sweep for the throwback. And there's Lefebvre. And Dan Lefebvre, touchdown.
Argos quarterback Ricky Ray's out. He got a little bit of an injury yesterday.
Yeah, hurt his shoulder last night, left the game, but it's unclear how long he's going to be out for at this point. Again, the injuries to some quarterbacks continuing. Anthony Calvillo of the Alouettes also win that. But otherwise, it's been pretty cool to watch the Hamilton Tiger Cats play at Alumni Stadium this season. I was in Guelph earlier this summer, and the setup was pretty great. Henry Burris said with all of the fan interaction, it felt like a college experience again. Today, the Ticats could take sole possession of second place in the East with a win over the lowly Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Hamilton was looking for its third straight win, while the Blue Bombers, well, they were looking for anything to get going offensively and avoid losing the season series to the Ticats. Yeah, okay, there you go. Early first quarter, this is awesome. A little trickery. Dan Lefebvre hands to Andrea Jones. Looks like a sweep, but then Jones stops in the throwback to Lefebvre. The QB, some nice moves. He scampers in for the touchdown. That's my kind of play call. There you go, 7-0 Ticats. Now 10-0 Hamilton after a Winnipeg fumble. Final play of the first quarter, Henry Burris finds a wide open CJ Gable. That's too easy, 10-yard TD. It was all Ticats in the first quarter. They led 17-zip. Second quarter, Blue Bomber offense continues to struggle. Buck Pierce looks to the outside, but he's picked off by D. Webb. Yeah, he's got a clear path to the end zone. 34 yards on the pick six. Winnipeg put up a couple of field goals, but Hamilton led 24-6 at the half. That's a great selly, too. Skip to the fourth, now 27-7. Bombers trying to keep it interesting. Chad Simpson, there's some running room. 44-yard touchdown run, and it's 27-14. But with 2 to play and left in the game, LeFevre works the option with Gable. He scores his second touchdown of the game. Ticats win their third in a row. 37-14 the final. In the other game, the Rough Riders are leading the Eskimos 29-27 in the fourth quarter. The local golf season is slowly coming to a close. The district amateur will officially wrap things up on Labor Day weekend, but this week Strathcona and Whitewater played host to the annual Junior District Championships. Young golfers up to the age of 18 hit the links to compete against each other and have quite a bit of fun, but for one local teenager, the tournament was a little bit more special. For Dustin Barr, it was just another golf tournament. He was trying to keep up with first-round leader Connor Carr.
I tried to stay with Connor as much as I can and take advantages. I didn't really putt that great today, but greens were tough. It was tough with the wind out there. I'm pretty happy with my score. I think I did pretty well.
That's a huge understatement. On Wednesday, the 18-year-old had just returned from a chemotherapy treatment at Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto. On the very same day, he played a practice round and then proceeded to shoot 75 and 76 in the two-day tournament and finish in second place, just 2 shots back of the winner.
Chemo is pretty tiring. It takes a lot out of you when you're just sitting there. And I walked yesterday. I felt pretty fine. I felt pretty strong. And then today I took a cart, so it was pretty easy. I didn't really feel tired today. I think I did pretty well for just being off chemo.
Back in March, the recent graduate of Hammersholt was diagnosed with sarcoma in his pelvis and pancreas. He says he was shocked by the news, but he's faced the battle head-on. NWO Golf's junior coach Dustin Wilson calls Barr heroic and says he's become quite the role model.
Things that he's done within the last couple of months just to fight this, never mind playing golf 3 or 4 times a week and still continuing to shoot scores that he does is remarkable. So we have all these younger kids and these younger people that are looking up to him right now as this pretty much icon in junior golf in Thunder Bay and going through this difficult time and the leadership that he's shown for the younger kids to look up to him is quite remarkable.
This year's tournament was also a fundraiser for Barr and his family. Through pledges, the group was able to raise almost $10,000, and a handful of them also shaved their heads.
It means a lot. Like, this is really incredible. Like, all my friends are supporting me. Everybody in Thunder Bay is supporting me. It's really incredible.
And even though he has to have surgery in the fall, Barr still has high hopes for his golfing career.
Hopefully the PGA Tour is where I'm going. I want to go. If not, then just a career in golf would be nice.
Carr went on to win the overall title. In the other age group, Sam Orr beat Ethan Borshowitz in a playoff to win the 14-16 title. Nicholas Muya was the 12-13 champ, while Evan Murray claimed the 11-and-under crown. On the diamond, pitchers Chad Jenkins and Chen-Min Wong are back with the Toronto Blue Jays. Jenkins was recalled from AA New Hampshire, and Wong's contract was selected from AAA Buffalo in time for him to start tonight against the Astros after losing 12-4 last night. The Jays are trying to avoid a 7th straight loss in Houston this evening. By the way, Astros, worst team in baseball right now. So shows you how well the Jays are playing. Afternoon action. Red Sox, Dodgers, top 1-2 on Mike Napoli. Base hit to center. Shane Victorino scores from second. That's Napoli's 70th RBI of the year. Boston up 1-0. Next batter is Johnny Gomes, and he crushes the first pitch he sees to left center. And it's going to leave the ballpark. 3-run shot, Gomes' 11th of the season. How about the beards on the Red Sox? Look at a couple of these. These are legit. It was 4-0 after 1. It remains that way in the 8th. How about speaking of hair, too, Little League World Series U.S. Bracket Championship game 3-1 California over Connecticut in the second. Jake Espinoza with the high chopper. Chad Knight has issues getting it out of his glove, and Espinoza is safe at first. That allows the inning to continue. Next batter, Nick Mora. He smashes the Knight offering to the opposite field in right center. A no-doubter that travels almost 290 feet. That's the longest home run of the tournament. The 3-run shot is Mora's third of the Little League World Series, and it's 6-1 California. Mora also getting it done on the mound. Gets his 8th strikeout in the 5th inning. California goes on to win 12-1. They'll face Japan in the championship game tomorrow after the Japanese beat Mexico earlier today. Back on the links, the first round of the FedEx Cup playoffs are happening this weekend in New Jersey. Matt Kuchar and Gary Woodland are tied for the lead at 12 under. Tiger Woods tied for 4th, a few shots back. Meanwhile, some of the top female golfers are at the Canadian Women's Open in Edmonton as well this weekend. Caroline Hedwall is leading at -10. For defending champ Lydia Ko is tied for 2nd at -9. And as Terry Reith explains, the young up-and-comers like Ko are trying to make a name for themselves.
The world's top female golfers are making their only Canadian stop on the LPGA Tour.
It's really a great story. Women's golf is taken off, and this event is, as I said, probably the top event in the world.
And all eyes are on the youngest golfers, especially the defending champion, New Zealand's Lydia Ko.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole different life as a teenager, and yeah, it's been really cool.
At 15, she became the youngest ever winner of an LPGA event. This year, she's back defending her title.
For a young girl, it's amazing.
But young Canadian golfers are also turning heads. Golfers like 15-year-old Brooke Henderson from Smith Falls, Ontario.
Last month, she became Canada's national amateur champion. Today, she's on the course, competing against her role models, Michelle Wee and Rebecca Lee Bentham.
Michelle and Becky, who I played with today, they're just so good, and I want to be like them.
Heroes drive participation in sport.
Seeing Canadians do well internationally has sparked more interest in the game, according to the head of Golf Canada.
If you look at what Laurie Kane has done over the years for women's golf and Mike Weir on the men's side with winning the Masters, these have been the role models for the game.
And this 15-year-old would like to be one of the next champions from Canada.
Definitely, Canadian game is growing a lot, and it'd be great to see some up-and-coming stars do really well.
It will take a lot to catch Lydia Ko, but Brooke Henderson is doing really well. Terry Reith, CBC News, Edmonton.
That's all I got.
Well, if you like warm weather like me, you're going to like what's coming for us this week. We'll have more details after the break. We had a high today of 26. Humidex 30 degrees right now, so nice and warm. But tomorrow, It's going to be competing for the hottest day of the year, that's
Woo!
for sure.
Yeah, it's going to get up there.
It is. We'll have more in just a second, but let's take a look right now at what's happening across the country. In Vancouver, 21 degrees, partly sunny sky there, similar conditions in Prince George. In Edmonton, a few degrees warmer at 26 degrees. Calgary, 27. Saskatoon and Regina both sitting right on the 30-degree mark. That's the warm spot across the country today. Winnipeg, 28 degrees, seeing a little bit of cloud. Churchill, even warm up there at 18 degrees with a mix of sun and clouds as we head into Ontario. Toronto's at 23 degrees with a partly sunny sky, seeing conditions in Ottawa and Montreal. As we head into Quebec City, we drop down just 1 degree, but the sun is shining there right now. In Fredericton, same thing, beautiful clear sky at 23 degrees. Halifax is at 20, Charlottetown 17 degrees under a partly sunny sky, and St. John's 12, seeing a little bit of cloud cover there. In our region, tonight expect temperatures quite a bit above seasonal. We should be in the single digits right now at 9 degrees. We are in the double digits and we're hovering right around 20 degrees this evening throughout the region. There is a chance of showers across northwestern Ontario, risk of thunderstorm. Otherwise, temperature is going to be between 15 and 21 degrees. Heading into tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures, again, quite a bit above seasonal. We should be at 21. We're much closer to 30 throughout the majority of the region. Cool spot will be Marathon at 22 degrees. The warmest areas, Fort Frances and Atikokan at 31 degrees. Again, some sun showers throughout the day, chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms for tomorrow across the region. Our city right now, 23 degrees, some clouds. Don't know what happened with the graphic there. The wind's coming out of the south-southeast. 22 to 32 kilometers an hour. As we go overnight, we're going to go down to 16 degrees. Scooby is making me laugh. With a 60% chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms going to be quite gusty. The wind will come out of the southwest, 25 to 45 kilometers an hour. And over the next few days, expect to see that chance of showers continue for tomorrow at least. 60% chance of showers, should be about 10 millimeters or less of rain. Humidex for tomorrow, 44 degrees. Monday, 29 with a humidex of 38. Tuesday, 27, humidex 36. Wednesday, 28, humidex 33. And Friday, humidex will be at 31 degrees. So again, temperatures nice and warm across the board.
It just, the clouds didn't want to be there. They were just like, no, we're
going
this way. We're going this way.
That was happening.
Be careful
there.
tomorrow. Again, with that rain instability, but going to be super warm. So again, just be careful with that heat.
Bring your
Drink
umbrellas.
lots of water.
Yeah, umbrellas if you're heading out to Ribfest. And that is all the time that we have for tonight. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow.